Cool. Okay, so let's get rolling here tonight. Thanks for being here tonight again, guys. We have a few introductory things to cover, and then Allison is going to take over for us. A quick introduction, though, before we do get started. We'll get to know you guys a little more here in just a second. But my name is Terry Atkins. I'm the 4-H specialist for Franklin, Gasconade, Crawford, Cole, and Osage counties. And then Allison, would you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Sorry, I might mute myself for a minute. Hi, my name is Allison Riki, and I'm the YPA, the Youth Program Specialist or Associate in Osage County.
Perfect. Thank you, Allison. Tonight we're going to know you guys a little bit more. That should say treasurer skills instead of secretary skills for tonight. And so we'll cover some treasurer skills, and then we're also going to do a few officer characteristic things. And so a few expectations for the night. We want to listen to others when they're speaking as possible. You probably hear a few good ideas or some knowledge you didn't know about before. If possible, can you guys please turn on your camera? We'd love to see you. This next activity we're going to do, we actually do need to see you, if possible, in your camera, because we're going to do a little bit of show and tell. So if you have a camera tonight and you could turn that on, please do, because that'll be involved in our next activity. We want you to share ideas and your experiences too during this time, and ask plenty of questions. So again, if possible, turn on your cameras. We'd love to see you tonight, and we'll jump in with that. Okay, so for a little quick introduction, so we get to know you guys a little bit better, I'm going to give you a task to do, and then we'll have a few minutes to do this. So your task is going to be to find something around you or in your house that describes you, or a hobby that you do, something that you can hold in one hand. So something around you or your house that you can hold in one hand that describes you or a hobby. So when I say go, you guys are going to have 3 minutes or so to do this. And we'll come back. So once everyone has returned, you're going to share your name, your county, your club, and what your item is. So for a quick demonstration, hi guys, my name is Terry Atkins. I am from Franklin County. I'm part of the Mount Tabor 4-H Club, and my item is a simple water bottle because I like to go camping and hiking, and I do it really often, and so I always need a good water bottle to do that with. So something pretty simple like that, nothing too complicated. Is there any questions before we get to going here?
No.
Perfect. Okay, guys, your 3 minutes to start. Go. Hey, Nick, where are you from? Are you from Phelps County?
Right there. Okay. So
Okay, guys, about another minute, and we'll start with this stuff. Okay, guys, let's get started here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of go along for those that are on my screen, so we're not confused on who's coming next. And so I'll just call out your name, and then if you would go, that'd be great. So the first one on my list is Caleb. So Caleb Riley.
My name's Caleb Riley. I'm from Phelps County Country Kids 4-H Club. My thing is a book because I read probably an unhealthy amount, but I read.
What book do you have?
It's called The Hound of Rowan. I just read fantasy, any fantasy
Oh, cool.
that I can pretty much get my hands on.
Well, reading's great. It's a skill that you'll use all your life. So thank you very much, Caleb. Next one on my list is Nick, or Nick's iPhone.
I'm Brendan. I'm from BIM 4-H, and so like what was I supposed to have for my thing?
Anything that describes you or a hobby that you do.
Well, I mean, I do sports. I don't really have anything right now, but like I do a lot of sports.
And Brendan, you're from BIM 4-H in what county?
Gasconade.
Gasconade. Thank you, Brendan. Okay, next one up here is Mark.
I'm Mark Brinney from the New Haven, Franklin County 4-H program, and I got peanut M&Ms because I'm always looking forward to the next meal.
I appreciate you a lot, Mark. I would agree with that statement wholeheartedly. Allison agrees as well. Allison and I talk about food a lot. Next one on my list is Tyler.
Hello?
Yep, you're
Can you
there.
hear me?
Mhm.
Okay. I have a business card. It's my commercial lamb business, and that's why I'm in 4-H for my sheep.
Wow. So what kind of sheep do you raise? Or what breed?
Katahdin haired
Katahdin?
sheep.
Cool. You're kind of unique there. That's cool. Thank you, Tyler. My next one up here is Blake. Blake, can you hear us? If not, we'll come back to you later on if you can get it all sorted out. Okay, Josie.
Blake commented in the chat.
Yep. Okay. So
Yeah, he
Blake,
said earlier that his mic isn't working.
okay. Okay, so Blake, you have a deer vest, and so you like to go hunting. Cool. Blake, are you, could you also put in the chat what county you're from? And what club? Thanks. Osage. Okay, Osage. Perfect. Got you on this. Perfect. Okay, next one up, Josie. Josie, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear. My name's Joseph Gary. I'm from Franklin County Country Kids 4-H. I got a camo mask because I like hunting.
Thank you, Joe. Cool. Okay, and then one last one. I didn't hear from Josie. Josie, can you hear us, or there's something in the chat?
I think she's in the chat too.
She said it.
Okay, cool. A lot of things happen tonight. It's hard to see what chat and everything. Well, perfect, guys. Thank you very much. Allison, did you have anything you wanted to share real quick?
Oh boy. I didn't know I was going. I got chocolate because candy's always good, and I like to eat too.
We all like to eat. Mark, you brought up a great point. Cool, guys. So that was a little introduction for us to get to know each other a little bit better. But I am now going to turn it over to Allison to do her programming. So, and have I made you a co-host, Allison? There you go. Now you should be able to share your screen.
Okay. Like Tanner said, welcome everybody. This is the officer training for the treasurers. So I hope you all are treasurers or maybe want to be a treasurer someday. So here's a little introduction. Congratulations on being your club's treasurer. Being a treasurer is a very important position for your club. Your fellow 4-H club members have shown the responsibility and their confidence in you by letting you hold this position. As a treasurer, you will be responsible for taking care of the club's money, bank accounts, and other money matters. Here's a little treasurer checklist that, since you're a treasurer, you probably should know or have. So all of you will be handling money for your group. You should be following the financial guidelines and outlines in the MU publication. It's also found on the web page. You should ensure your bank accounts have an employee identification number instead of anybody's social security. You don't want anybody's social security because that can get lost easy, and that's what you are known for. I mean, that's pretty much what, I don't know, once you're born, you get one, and that's how you identify yourself. You should be keeping an accurate record of how all the money is used in the MU publication. So that's also found in a treasurer's record book. You could either have it electronically or a written one, and your club leader should have given you one by now. Do all of you have one? I would think so.
Yeah, I have one.
Okay, cool. And then
Anyone
you also, what was that?
Is there anyone that doesn't have one?
Yeah. Let us know if you don't have one.
I don't have one yet, but she's gonna give it to me. My leader is. I had to leave early on the day we had the elections because my brother had to go to practice.
Cool. And with COVID, it's just been unpredictable. So some of you might have not had meetings yet. You should be getting one. And if your club leaders haven't given you one, you can message us or get in contact with your extension. This is the treasurer's checklist is continued. So you should pay money out of the treasurer's or pay. Usually most of you guys have like a checking account, so only make sure it's coming out of that checkbook and make sure it's approved by the club. If not, do not be pulling any money out of that account. You should deposit your money as soon as possible. This is important because you don't want money sitting around, and sometimes if there's like a bill that needs to be paid and it comes out, you want to make sure that money's in there before that happens. So, and also pay bills promptly and as they're approved by the club for all bills paid by check or cash. It needs a sales receipt, an invoice or statement as proof of payment. So if you get some cash handed to you, you don't want to you always want to give them a receipt because you want to have proof that they gave you cash and you took it in. So if they say, or if you gave out cash and let's say you didn't give them a receipt and they come back and say, hey, you didn't give me my money, you have proof that you gave them that money. And it's it's important because you need to be putting that in your book too, so you have that. You prepare monthly summary reports of income and expenses, also the current balance to present at each meeting. So you're supposed to, I hope all of you during your monthly meetings come and say in front of your whole club, here's the balance for my club, and this is what we have left, and this is what we have to spend, or just to let them know how much is in their bank account or your club's bank account. You also should complete an annual financial report at the end of the year and submit a copy to the MU Extension Center. So after the year's over with and you've had all your meetings, in your treasurer's book, you should have that filled out and be able to give that to your club leader or get that to your extension center to get that turned in, because that gets turned in higher up than just your county extension.
Or you'll have me or one of the special region coming after you.
Yeah, you don't want that. Does any of you have any questions so far?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Perfect. I'm next going to teach you how to write a check. Have any of you written a check before?
Yeah, I have.
Yes.
Cool. Awesome. There's a lot of people who do not know how to write a check. So I'm just going to give you the step by step through how to write a check, just for those who may not have that experience yet. I know a lot of kids maybe show at the fair or just have a checkbook for their personal accounts, which is very handy because like when I was younger and then 4-H, I would show a hog at the fair and I was responsible for paying for my hog out of my own pocket. So I had my own checkbook and I could just write them a check. And it's very helpful in the future. So I'm glad most of you know how to do that. So step 1, you always want to date your check. So this will be located at the top right corner of the check. Make sure it's always for the correct date. So the date you write the check out, make sure that's the date you put on it, because sometimes people, before this job, I also worked at a bank. So before, people will come to the bank and have the date of maybe not today, but the next day. It would have the day before's date. And we would not be able to cash that check because you couldn't cash it till the next day because it was that date. So that's very important to make sure it has the right date on it. Step 2, who is the check paid for? Write the business's or individual's name on the line that says paid to the order of. This can be in cursive or just print. I know a lot of the older people put it in cursive. It really doesn't matter as long as you have the right name and the correct spelling of the business or the individual's name. Step 3, you want to write the payment amount in numbers. So in the small box on the right-hand corner with the $sign, you always want to write that in numbers, not words. And then step 4, that line you want to write the payment out in words. That's very important. A lot of people fill out their checks incorrectly and they put numbers, but that should always be spelled out in words. And it would be the second line under the paid to the order of. Step 5, writing a memo is optional, but it does help you or the people you give the check to know what it's for. So I might be, you might pay me and I have no idea, why did I get this $20? I can look at my, a lot of people have online banking. So I can go back and look at my online banking and it shows a picture of the check and I can see, hey, that was written for 4-H dues. So it's very helpful, but it's optional. So you don't have to if you don't want to. Step 6 is signing the check. So whoever the check or whoever like your club's checkbook, you want to make sure that your name is on the the signature card at the bank, or it might be your club leader who has the name on the signature card. So if you become a treasurer, it's up to your club, but your club leader might want to keep it in their name unless every year they put the treasurer's on the signature card. So this shows the bank that if your name's on the signature card, you can sign that check. So signing that check, it shows the bank that you agree to pay the amount that is stated on the check. Step 7, record your transaction in club's check register. Have any of you had experience in after writing a check out, you put your payment amount in the check register and what it's for? I'm getting some yes head nods. Okay, because some people because I know some people who just write a check out and never record it in a check register, and they end up lost eventually trying to figure out how to do that.
By check register, do you mean like a checkbook?
A checkbook is the checks, and then a checkbook register is kind of like a separate little booklet, and it has a bunch of lines, and then at the end it has like,
Yeah.
Tanner, can you help me? Is it like withdrawals and deposits?
I know what you're talking about.
Okay, cool. So now I want you guys to try. I gotta figure out how to get you all to be able to write on here, but once I get that, I want a few of you to volunteer and show me how to write a check. And I'm gonna have like one write the date, one write I'm gonna give you a scenario, so who to write the check to. I just need a few volunteers.
I'll do it.
Okay, at the top of your screens, do you have the annotate with the little pencil?
So it will look like you'll at the top of your
Yeah.
screen, you have a thing that says view options, and you'll hit annotate when you click that.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, cool. So once you hit annotate, you can hit the draw, and there should be just a few options of how thick you want your pen. Always write, I can't stress this enough, always write your checks in ink. You never want to write them in pencil because people can erase them.
Yeah,
Who spoke up and
also,
said they would?
my parents
What was that?
My parents taught me when I'm writing the check, like on the part where I write it out in words, to always put a line on the rest of the line that you don't use so that there can't be like writing added to it.
Yes, I'm glad you stated that. That's a very important, that's very important. So like whenever you're writing it out in letters, when you write it out in letters, you want to write a 0, or it depends if you have cents. You can write that in numbers. You want to write the cents in numbers and then put a slash, and then you want to put 100 underneath it, and then put a line all the way to the end to where you see the dollars. So who said they wanted to help me?
I will.
Okay, Caleb, you want to help me? Do you have your pen? Can you write yet?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's write this to the MU extension, and we're going to say that we want to pay them for $25 for their dues. So if Caleb, you want to write pay to the first, will you write the date? I know it's not going to be perfect because it's hard to
Just today's
draw with
date?
these. Yes. And there is always a clear button or a redo or undo. It's tricky.
Oh gosh, that is way too big.
You're good.
It could be big. That's just fine.
Yeah,
Me
that's
too.
fine. It's just an example. Perfect. Do I have another volunteer who would like to write pay to the order of? Anybody?
I'll do it again if you want me to.
I might take you up on that, but I want like one more volunteer at least.
Blake said he will.
Okay. Blake. Would you write pay to the order of, and we're gonna write it to the MU extension. All good. It's all good. It's harder than what you think.
And you could just leave it at EXT, honestly.
Yeah, if you want to put a dot after the T, we're good with that.
That's good.
Perfect. Thank you, Blake. All right. Anybody else want to volunteer?
I can, but I don't.
Josie also said that they would.
I am.
Okay. What was that, Mark?
I can write the price, but I don't see the thingy where we like write it out. I don't have that on my screen.
You don't have the annotate button?
Mark, are you on a phone or a computer?
I'm on my Chromebook.
Okay. So at the very top, do you see an option that says View Options or a little black box? Top of your screen.
I see the thing that says you are viewing Allison Reiki's screen, and it has an options bar.
Yeah, click on that options bar.
It shows original size and enter full screen.
Oh.
I'm on an iPad and it's on like the bottom left corner of the screen. It's just a picture of a pencil.
Maybe that's
That's
it.
just
that
for
on mine.
iPads though. I don't know about anything.
I don't see like any pencils or anything anywhere.
Okay. I'm sorry, Mark. I don't know where it would
I'm
be on
sorry.
someone else, Josie can go and let me see if I can Google and find out how that looks on a Chromebook.
Yeah, Josie, if you want to write the amount for $25 in numbers, so in the little box. And on this part too, I personally put the 00, or since it's not going to have any cents, I personally put the 00, and I still put that over 100 in that box, just because I have seen some people try to, I don't know, try to steal your check and rewrite and put some extra amount. So it's always best if you put it over 100, even in that spot, because it's easy to, if you put big 00, even though you have the dot, people could put a comma there and it could be 25,000. So. And Josie, for 0, usually you would put 2 zeros if that, because it could be like 25 cents. Could you put me another 0 on there? Perfect. Awesome. Any other volunteers?
I haven't found out why marks would be different at this point. I'm sorry, Mark.
I guess if we don't have anybody, if Caleb still wanted to volunteer.
Yeah, I'll do it again.
Okay. Okay, on the bottom line, if you wanted to put 25.
Oh, Tyler said he'd
in-
go. Tyler said he'd go.
Okay, Tyler, if you want to, put on that line on below pay to the order of, if you want to put $25 in, or 25 in letters, and then put the 00 over 100, and then drag that line all the way to the dollars.
Tyler's got the hardest one.
I know, a lot more writing. Looking better than what I could do.
Same.
And since his dollars went all the way to the dollar amount, I don't know if you would have to put the line. You can just put 00 over 100.
Yeah, if your amount goes all the way to the dollars, you don't have to draw a line anywhere because they can't fill anything else in it at that point. But if you do have extra space, like Allison said, you'll want to draw that line all the way to the dollars.
No offense, if your amount goes all the way over to the end, either you have really big writing or you're giving someone a lot of money.
Be a really nice check, yeah.
But in this instance, it's hard to write on this online, so we're doing the best we can.
Cool.
Okay. Tyler, will you put that over 100? It doesn't matter if you write over top the dollars.
I think he did. It was 00, then over 100 there. It's kind of
Okay, maybe it's.
I think he tried.
You might have. My
there.
chat box might be in the way. I'll move it. There we go. Now I see it. All right. Do we have any other volunteers? No? Okay. Caleb, you want to step up again?
Sure.
Just finish this out.
In the memos line. What was that?
I was just gonna say Caleb can just finish this out here.
Yeah, if you want to finish it out, you can. In the memo line, I usually like to write memos. It's just easier. So if you want to write dues, that'll work. Perfect.
That's the correct spelling, right? Like, I feel like that's not a hard word to mess up, but for some reason I feel like I spelled it wrong.
I feel that way sometimes, but no, that is correct. So if you want to sign your name, we'll act like your name is on the signature card at the bank. And always write your name in cursive on the signature line. Perfect. Now we have completed how to write a check properly. Good job, guys. Next, if it lets me click. Whoops. There we go. We're going to go on to talk about bank deposits. Like a check, you always want to date your deposit slip. Sometimes your checkbooks have deposit slips on the very back end of your checkbook. I know there's only a very few amount, but you can always go to your bank and get extra deposit slips as well. But you always want to date your deposit slip. And then whenever your amount may be in cash, you always fill the amount of currency. So how many are, I think, yeah, how many of each bill, or is that right, Tanner? How much of each bill?
That's not required. You usually just have cash in the one section, and then every check then is listed out below that.
That's right, that's right. So in the currency for depositing cash, you just write the full amount. So the, let's say $250.10, you write that in the cash spot. So whenever you're depositing checks, you want to list each check and the amount. There's usually a space on the back of your deposit slip to list additional checks if you run out of room on the front. And I think there's a total too, where you can write it at the bottom of the back of your deposits slip. Under the total, you want to add up both the cash and the checks. And if there is only checks, you just add up the checks and put it on the total line. And if there's only cash, you do the same. To deposit a check, so you have your deposit slip, but you also on the check, you want to sign your name or whoever's on the bank card. Like I stated before, you want to sign that name or whoever's name is on there. You want that person to sign the back of the check. So it must be endorsed before you can deposit it at the bank, or they will not accept it. So when the 4-H group receives cash or checks, the treasurer also must write the receipt, like I stated before, for all the money received. So any money coming in, you always want to write a receipt for whatever they give you, just so you have proof. Usually there's on your receipt book, there would be a copy. There should be 2 copies, one on a laminate piece of paper and then just a normal piece of paper. You always want to keep one and give one to the person who gave you the money. And then if you get, I think I misspelled on that bullet point, but if you receive any gifts or donations, you always want to write a thank you in addition to the receipt. It's always nice just to show your appreciation. As a 4-H, we want to set a good example and show how thankful we are for receiving their donation, because they don't always have to give us a donation or give us a gift. It's out of their niceness of their hearts. So always want to show them our respect. Okay, so this is usually what a deposit slip looks like. Usually at the top of it, it would state your club's name, and then it might be where your club's located at, or just your club leader's address. And then it usually would have a phone number if the bank needs to reach you. So like I stated before, you want to put the date first. So do we have any volunteers for this one?
I'll do it.
Okay, Caleb, you want to start off with the date? Perfect. I'll say in this scenario, we have $10 in cash and a $30 check. So does anybody want to volunteer to put in the cash amount?
Blake said he will.
Blake said he will.
Okay. Perfect. So did I say $10 in cash and
Yep,
a $30
$10 in
check?
cash.
So $10 in cash, put that on a cash line and then put 0, 0 for because we don't have any cents. And they always give you extra room
Yeah,
in
we're
case
senseless.
today we're sensitive. And they also give you extra room in case it's a big check. In 4-H, I have that big old check for $1,000 or something. So the last 2 before the dot and then the 2 after, we want to put the 10 and then the 0, 0 for the cents. Perfect. Do I have another volunteer?
Tyler, would you like to do the $30 check? Oh, we can't hear you, bud, if you're talking. You're still muted.
Mike's still muted. So if you want to go to that mic, usually it's at the bottom of your screen and click it. It'll unmute you.
Is
There
that
you go.
right underneath the $10?
Yeah.
Yep.
And let's say
Okay.
the check number is 100. So every time you write the check amount, you see that little line right here before the arrow. Right there, you want to always put the check number. So let's say, like I said, put check number 100 or whatever the check amount or the check number is for that check. You always put it in that spot.
And then the check is $30, right?
Yep.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So I know this doesn't happen, but what if someone were to give you $100,000 check? Like, how would you fit that when each one only goes to like up to 5 digits?
Usually that wouldn't happen.
Would you just like have to put 2 separately?
I don't
They
know.
They have
See, I'm
special
not-
deposit slips at the bank that you can use if you ever run into that situation. So
Yeah.
the bank will have.
Oh, okay.
That's just not very common.
And me working in a bank
Right.
in the past, I would say that does not happen. And if it does happen, the bank usually thinks something's suspicious because usually people do not have that amount of money to give to someone.
Be a good day.
All right. And Tyler did that. Good job, Tyler. Just as a note, you don't always have to put the zeros in front of the 3, but that is perfectly fine. So do we have another volunteer? Does Josie want to help and put the total at the bottom?
Blake commented on the last one that he would.
How did that? He or she?
Blake
are you
did
a
the
girl or a boy?
$10, I think.
Yeah, I think Blake did the $10. I think Blake may be a girl. Oh, you can't get the marker to work? Okay, that's fine, Josie. Does anybody else want to volunteer? Again? Oh,
Allison, let's see your writing skills.
Oh boy, here we go. So we're gonna want to total it all up, so bear with me. Whew. Okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought. Hold on. All right, we got $40 we're gonna deposit. I want to also tell you there is that line underneath the date, and that says sign here for cash received. So if you may, let's say the club wants to take $5 out, you would, let me do something real quick. Let's say we want to take $5 out. So I'm going to put $5 here and there's less cash received. So there's $5 we want to take back out, which usually doesn't happen if you deposit cash out of. Usually it happens if you deposit a check and you want $5 out of like that check. So let's say we want to take $5 out of the amount we want to deposit. So then that turns the total amount to 35. We're gonna deposit $35 and get $5 cash back. So whenever you want cash back, you always have to sign your name to get the money out, because it's telling the bank, oh boy, that's a great signature. It's telling the bank that you give them permission to take that $5 out of that deposit. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah. Blake asked what the check mark meant by the cash box.
Oh, I don't know. Tanner?
I don't know that one either. I was gonna Google it real quick. I'm not for sure. We can go on though, and I can find out.
Okay. That sometimes, I don't know if it's always on check deposit slips, but I guess this one it is. I guess maybe banks can put a check mark in the box next to it to say, yes, that is the amount we received, $10. Put a check mark there. That's what I would guess it would be. To move on, we're going to go on to bank statements. So every month, your club will receive in the mail. I know a lot of clubs might be doing this get this electronically, because I know banks charge like a $5 fee to send you and print that off and mail it to you. So a lot of people do the online bank statements so they don't have to pay that extra amount of cash to get a paper copy, because it's available online. It's usually sent once a month or can be found, like I said, electronically for getting paperless bank statements. But it is always very important to match that amount that is in the checkbook register to the bank statement. So you want always want them to line up and have the same amount of money. If your check register has a different amount, you want to go back through, look at your bank statement, because your bank statement will state each transaction. So like if you deposited $30, you deposited another $40 one day, it will show you each deposit you made during that month, and then at the bottom it'll total it. So like I said, if your checkbook register is not adding up to the same amount as your bank statements, you want to look at that bank statement and see which deposit did I not put in my checkbook register. And then sometimes I personally put in my checkbook register. Sometimes some people write it in pencil just because I know it's easy to make mistakes on checkbook registers. You can go back and erase your total, or you can erase and fix your mistake and then add in what other deposits you did not have on there. And at the end of it, you want to make sure they both add up to be the same thing. So you want to begin with the bank statement balance. Second, add any deposit amounts that are not listed on the statement to your checkbook register. The final amount should be the same as the balance in your checkbook register. And then for more details on how to balance a checkbook with a bank statement, refer to the bank or ask your volunteers or ask your club leader. Just if you're having trouble, always ask for help. You always want that to add up to be the same. So if it doesn't add up, always ask for help. And bankers, usually if you come to the bank and say, hey, this isn't adding up, or there's a transaction that doesn't make sense and you're like, where'd that come from? You can always ask your banker and they can look into it further or explain more into detail. Okay, we're gonna go on to officer characteristics. You always want to be welcoming to your guests. You always want to help other officers with tasks. So let's say the vice president is having trouble because the president's gone. If they need help, always be there to assist them if they need help. Shout outs to club doers. Letting others lend. Represent their club to a high standard. So you always want to talk highly of your club. You don't, if someone asks, what's 4-H? You just want to tell them how it is or what you do in 4-H, and you want to show and represent your club proudly. Enthusiasm.
And so this is
always good to have.
This is an extra one I added in here, guys. So a lot of these are just different qualities that we would love for you guys to exhibit as a 4-H member. One of these, though, that I added an extra is as a 4-H officer. We want you to have a little more pep in your step when you're there with your clubs. You are the people they elected to do some of the leadership skills. And so show them that you're excited to be there and want to be there for them as an officer.
Any questions? So it's open floor. If anybody has a question, just ask away.
And this is our wrap up for tonight, guys. And so, yeah, we can answer any treasurer questions you may have or any general 4-H questions too. No
questions?
Doesn't look like we have any tonight, Allison.
Okay, well, I might have a few questions for you guys. Why did you guys choose to become the treasurer and not any other officer position?
Well, actually, one year I was vice president, and so I tried for president and vice president, and so I just went for treasurer after I failed to get president or vice president.
Hey, don't let that push you down, though. Always, you can try again next year for the president position. Anybody else want to? Anybody else want to tell me why they chose to be a treasurer?
Don't think we have any more responses for tonight. That's fine.
Nobody? Nobody? Okay. How has 4-H impacted you guys? How has it had an impact on your lives? Has it helped?
I guess that wrap up question too, Allison, and this will be the last thing we'll ask you guys tonight is, is there anything that have been really great with 4-H that you've enjoyed? It doesn't have to be an office position, but is there anything you'd like to highlight about 4-H just so we know, and there's cool things that we can highlight with other people too?
Or what can we do better? That's a good question. Nobody?
So, I don't know if like this is just my club, and I understand that the like elected officers are elected because like they're supposed to be in charge, but like everybody else who's not an officer, just like during the entire hour-long meeting, we just sit there.
Really?
And so like I think that we should like try to include like all the normal members, because like some people just don't want to be an officer but still want to like do stuff.
That's a great point, Caleb. And so, yeah,
That's just my opinion.
we encourage you as officers to think of ideas on how to involve others in the meeting too. And if you can't come up with ideas, it's great for you to be able to talk to your club leader or also your 4-H staff in your county or your local people. They can help you come up with some ideas to get those other people involved. That is something awesome that we want them to be able to do. Is everyone should be involved in their 4-H meetings. Okay, guys, I think that will wrap us up for tonight and get us done. So what I'm going to do is these resources that you see here on the screen now, I'm actually going to send you all an email with those so you can reference them later on for the resources we have. The recordings to this video will also be posted on a YouTube channel later on, and I will send that out to all your family emails. So if you do need to reference that in the future, you can. And again, anytime, reach out to us here. We're happy to help. And yeah, we thank you guys again for being here tonight.
Nice meeting all of you guys.
Bye.